Welcome back, Jebel Ali. In this tutorial I'm going to show you some Google Drive more advanced skills. So at the moment I'm in my Drive folder. So this is called the root folder. This is the location where all your other folders are stored. Okay, so I'm going to create a file that I'm going to show you how you can move around easily. So I'm going to create a Google Doc. So click on the new button here and scroll down to Google Doc. And I'm just going to give it a name quickly. I'm going to call it Computing Task 1. Okay, so that's giving it a name. So remember, this is opened in a new tab. And to go back to my Google Drive, I could click here. And if I do that, you'll see that the Computing Task 1 is inside my Drive. Remember, it's called the root folder. Okay. Here, I'm just going to close that tab. Remember, it automatically saves, and there it is inside my Google My Drive. Okay, next, I'm going to move it into the correct folder. There are several ways to do this. I'm going to show you a way of doing it by dragging and dropping. So, let's try it now. So, I'm going to move it into my Year 3 folder. Okay, can you see what I'm doing there? I click, hold, drag, and drop into Year 3. It disappears from the My Drive folder. Now if I go into Year 3, it has been dropped into the Year 3 folder, but it's not yet in my computing folder. So I can drag and drop that into computing, and it is now stored in my computing folder. Now if for some reason I wanted to drag it back out and into my drive, I could do it this way. I can click and hold my file and drag into my drive. And you see I've dragged and dropped it onto the word here, my drive, and you'll see there it is. It's back into your my drive. So I'm going to add another file. So I'm going to click on new. This time I'm going to create a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, and I'm going to call that my sheet, just to give it a name. Click away. Again, just like the Google Doc, it's named at the top here. I can close it because I know it's been created inside my Year 3 folder. Now, imagine I want to move both of these files into my computing folder. I can do something called lassoing. That means I can select both of the files together like this. So I click, hold, and drag. Can you see I'm getting a blue highlighted area? And when I've surrounded both of my files, I'll let go. And you can see here, I'll just zoom in so you can have a good view of that. They are highlighted in blue. If I press escape to zoom out again. Now, while they're highlighted, when I drag them, they will move together. And you can see the red circle with the number 2 in. That's telling me that 2 files have been dragged. I'm going to drag that into my Year 3 folder. Then I'll go into my Year 3 folder, and then I can do exactly the same again. I can select, and then I can drag and drop them into computing. Now I'll just show you one more thing. If I go into my computing, I'm going to add another file in here. So I'm going to go to new. This time I'm going to add a Google slide. I'm going to call it presentation 2 or 1, doesn't really matter. Click away so it saves. Just like before, the title comes at the top. I'm going to close that. So now I've got another file here. But now I'm going to only move the presentation and the Google Doc into my Year 3 folder. And the way I do that is I click once on my presentation. Now, importantly, holding Control, CTRL, on the bottom row of your keyboard, in the left-hand side, holding Control, I'm going to click on Computing Task 1, and that will select the 2 files I want to move, and then when I drag them into Year 3, can you see here, it's left the My Sheet that I didn't highlight, and when I click on Year 3, I can see my Presentation 1 and Computing Task 1 inside my Year 3 folder. Okay, and now again, if I just want to move one, I just click on it, it's highlighted, and I can move my presentation into my drive, leaving my computing task 1 in my year 3 folder, and when I go to my drive, my presentation 1 is here in my Google My Drive outside my year 3 folder. And that is how you use the drag and drop to move a single file and also multiple files by lassoing and moving them together. And that's a little tip for you using Google Drive. And that's the end of this tutorial. Well done. I hope you followed that. Have a practice, create some files and practice moving them around in your Google Drive. Take care and see you soon.